Sir, in the last video, we covered try except a block basic idea. Now, I want to dig a control flow inside a try except. Observe carefully, sir. Control flow in try except blocks. How the flow will be there? If an exception riser, what will happen? If an exception not riser, what will happen? Compulsory, you should aware. Okay, here very simple terminology, sir. Here I am taking try, okay, statement 1, statement 2, statement 3. Try statement 1, 2, 3. Next, except block I am taking some x means either zero division error or value error, name of the exception. Now statement 4. Okay, next after that statement 5. Now observe carefully. Statement 5 is outside of except block. Okay, 1, 2, 3 are within the try block. Statement 4 inside except block. Statement 5 outside of except block. Okay, like now multiple cases I have to discuss so that you will get much clarity about the flow. Very important, sir. Okay, listen carefully. Sir, I want to take case 1. Case 1. If there is no exception, can you please tell what is the flow? Which statements will be executed? Please confirm. If there is no exception, except a block won't be executed, because when the except block will execute, if there is an exception riser, but if there is no exception, except block won't be riser, then automatically 1, 2, 3 and then 5. 1, 2, 3 and then 5, normal termination. Remember this. So 1, 2, 3, 5, normal termination. Look at this. Because there is no exception, simple, sir. 1, 2, 3 will be executed and then 5 will be executed, normal termination. Okay, well. Now, second case. So up to this, not required to keep any explanation. There is no exception, except block won't be executed. Okay, well. Next, if an exception raised, yet statement 2, sir. Listen very carefully. An exception raised yet a statement 2. While executing statement 2, an exception raised and corresponding except block matched. And corresponding except block matched. Corresponding except block matched means, sir, here zero division error. Oh, this except block for the same zero division error only. Now what is the flow, sir? Please confirm. An exception riser, but the corresponding except block is there. Sir, zero division error came, except zero division error block is there. Then what is the flow? Please confirm very carefully. Understand? Compulsory you have to trace. Which statements are going to execute, sir? 1 and then 2 the problem is coming. Immediately the control will comes to except block. Now statement 4 will be executed, and after statement 4 execution, now my doubt is statement 3 will be executed or not. Getting my point? So statement 3 will be executed or not. After executing statement 4, either statement 3 will be executed or not. Okay, remember this. Within the try, we have main flow. Sir, try block means main flow. Inside except block, we have alternative flow. Alternative flow. In the main flow, if there is a problem, immediately alternative flow got executed. Once alternative flow executed, then the control won't go back again to execute main flow. Suppose, best example, try for bus tickets. If the bus ticket is not available, try for train ticket. Okay, you got a train ticket. After getting train ticket, no one is going to try for bus ticket again. Are you getting right? So means that within the try block, if anywhere an exception got raised, So now immediately the control will comes to except block. Rest of the try block won't be executed. Remember this one, sir. That's why what is the flow? One will be executed. While executing 2, the problem is coming. Immediately control will comes to except block. 4 will be executed. 1 4, and then remaining code will be continued normally. 1 4 5 normal termination. 1 4 5 normal termination, sir. So there is important conclusion compulsory you should aware. Within the try block, anywhere an exception raised, so rest of the try block won't be executed even though you handled that exception. Even we handle, rest of the try block won't be executed. That's why, so inside the try block you have to take only risky code, but not normal code, because there is no guarantee for execution of every statement in the try block. That's why only risky code we have to take inside try block. The length of the try block should be as less as possible. Remember, sir. But most of the people, what they are going to do is, sir, observe, try block they will take statement 1, okay, dot statement 10,000 they are going to define. Statement 10,000 they are going to take. Okay, now here they are going to define except block, sir. So 10,000 statements are there inside try block. If any person who wrote this type of coding, if he is standing in front of me, I will give left and right. The problem here is, there is a problem at statement 1 only. There is a problem at statement 1. Immediately the control will comes to except block. Then without executing 9,999 lines of the code, how I expect proper behavior? That's why length of the try block should be as less as possible. Inside the try block, we have to take only risky code but not normal code. Is it clear for all of it? Even in the last example also, have you remembered, right? Try of statement 1, statement 10 by 0, statement 3. I took statement 10 by 0 only in the try block, but not total 3 statements. In the last example, if you remember, same here, see this one, sir. So it's a clear. If an exception raised at a statement 2 and the corresponding except block matched, sir, 1 executed. While executing 2, the problem came. Immediately control came to except block, and after completing except block, yes, statement 5 will be executed. 1 4 5 normal termination. Any doubt about this one? Okay, well. Now next case. Listen very carefully. If an exception raised at statement 2. If an exception raised at statement 2, but corresponding except block not matched. Okay, but corresponding except block not matched. Corresponding except block not matched. What is the flow now? So not matched means, here 0 division error is coming, but this except block for value error or heart problem is coming, but available doctor is eye specialist is there. Getting? So here riser exception, but available except block, there is no match at all. Now this except block is not the correct code. Sir, what will happen? So here an exception riser, immediately Python virtual machine will check either any handling code is not available because it is not corresponding except block, abnormal termination. That's why 1 followed by abnormal termination. Remember this one, 1 followed by abnormal termination. Okay, this is the flow. Now the next one, very very important, sir. Take a bit special care. Now the fourth case. If an exception raised at a statement 4, if exception raised at a statement 4, can you please tell what will happen? Is it normal termination or abnormal termination? Please confirm. If an exception raised at statement 4, is it normal termination or abnormal termination? Very important, friends. Please confirm. Is it normal or abnormal termination? Yes. If an exception raised at statement 4, is it normal or abnormal? Sir, remember, very important conclusion. First doubt you may get, sir, exception should be raised only in the try block but not inside except block. No, wherever Python code is there may be a chance of raising an exception. So assume I'm checking for bus ticket. If the bus ticket not available, then I will try for train ticket. Is there any guarantee train ticket is compulsory available? No. So maybe a chance of exception inside except block also. Okay, don't feel exceptions will be raised only in the try block. Maybe a chance of rising inside except block, inside finally block also. Sir, what is finally? That part we are going to discuss. Don't worry, sir. Okay, so except inside try, inside except, inside finally, everywhere there is a possibility of raising an exception. Okay, first conclusion. Next, if an exception raised inside except block, what will happen? Sir, very simple. Listen carefully. If there is a problem at a try, statement 1, statement 2, statement 3, there are 3 statements are there inside try block. If an exception raised in the try block, if an exception raised in the try block, compulsory. Okay, who is the responsible to handle? Except block is the responsible. Except block acts as a guard, security person to the try statements. Remember this one. So somewhere outside of try, here an exception raised. Outside of try, here an exception raised. Can I ask this except block to handle that? No chance at all. Boss, myself is the responsible only for these 3 statements only. Suppose for your house, you arranged one security person. If anything goes wrong in your house, this security person is the responsible. Suppose in the neighbor's house, okay, robbery happened in the neighbor's house. Can I ask the security person why robbery happened in the neighbor's house? No chance at all, because this person is the responsible only for this house, not for this house. Are you getting? Same way, this except block is the responsible only for try block statements, not outside the statements. Are you getting? That's why if any statement raising an exception which is not inside the try block, simply abnormal termination. Remember this one, sir. So here statement 4, not in try block. It is inside except block, not in try block. Always abnormal termination, because it's not there inside try. No except block. No except block means abnormal termination. Next, if an exception raised at a statement 5. If an exception raised at statement 5, again statement 5 is within the try block or outside of try block? I respond, within the try block or outside of try block? Outside of try block. Correct, right? So if an exception raised, so outside of try block, it is always abnormal termination. So if an exception raised at statement 4 or statement 5, it is always abnormal termination. That's all. So with pleasant mind, trace each and everything so that you will get much clarity. Sir, next level we have to talk about control flow in try except finally. Control flow in nested try except finally blocks. There if you want to understand, compulsory, here much clarity must be required, because the same thing we are going to rediscuss again and again. So here better to get much clarity. Are you in the position to understand, right? Next, in addition to this, there are 3 important conclusions I covered. Have you remembered or not? I don't know. Within the try block, if anywhere an exception raised, rest of the try block won't be executed even though you handled that exception. That's why length of the try block should be as less as possible. We have to take only risky code inside a try block. Okay, well, next, sir, there is a possibility of raising an exception inside try block, inside except block, inside finally block also. Everywhere there is a possibility of raising an exception. Next, so here, do you know, if any statement outside of try block raising an exception, it is always abnormal termination. Remember that. Okay, have a look once. I hope these 3 statements I documented for your reference. Observe carefully, sir. Within the try block, if anywhere an exception raised, then rest of the try block won't be executed even though we handled that exception. Hence, inside try block, we have to take only risky code and the length of the try block should be as less as possible. Next, in addition to try block, there may be a chance of rising exceptions inside except and finally blocks also. Don't feel exception should be raised only in the try block. No. Next, if any statement which is not part of try block, outside of try block, rising an exception, then it is always abnormal termination. Okay, well, then immediately you may ask, sir, inside except block, if an exception rises, you are telling abnormal termination. Can I take this statement for again try except again try except, so try except inside except block, possible or not? Array possible, that part don't worry, we will discuss in detail next level. As of now it is not part of try statement, abnormal termination. So any doubt about this control flow in try except the blocks? Clear, right?